to 8 Cubes, where we unintentionally have developed a visual contrast in the colors of our t-shirts. I'm KMBest.
Hey.
He's Lamby Series. We talk about the 8 most important topics in Marvel Snap, and in this upcoming Robot season, a lot of those topics are new cards, starting with Viv Vision on the Season Pass. 3-2. Start of turn ability. At the start of the turn, if you are winning her location, your entire hand gets +1 power. Baseline strikes me as a very strong card if you can get a couple of procs out of it, but has some major Iron Patriot syndrome where it's either dominating the game or not doing much of anything at all. What do you get out of Viv Vision, Lamby?
Honestly, I'm not too high on this card. Like, obviously, if you can, it's like you said, Iron Patriot-esque, right? If you're always winning the location, then sure, you get a lot of buffs. But +1 is, I don't think, enough for the amount of effort you have to put into this one. Like for example, Iron Patriot, you win the location like one time, and then you get the payoff. This one you kind of need to always win. If you tell me it's like +2, then I think it's very good because you just need to win once for very obvious payoff. But then you need to win every single time, so you kind of need to be a prophet or something. You just literally need to do everything perfectly every single turns after playing this card for the payoff to be worth it. So I think the +1, the fact that it's a 3 mana 3-2, firstly, it's a bit understated, and secondly, the fact that you have to constantly win that location, and your opponent will try their best to make it so that you don't win the location, right? So I do think that this card is a bit low on the ratings for me, simply because it's a bit too much effort for just a +1, which I think you only get off once anyway. I don't really think you get it off more than once, realistically.
Well, she does have the second ability, which is if you don't get the +1, she goes to another location, which means that the investment your opponent made in that location, you might be able to, she's almost like a sort of, I don't know, like a traveling, I guess you describe her as like a traveling nebula.
You know what's the problem with that? The fact that the movement is mandatory. If the movement was an optional thing, I think the card actually okay. Because it also means that you reallocate a 2-power thing somewhere else. The fact that you must move feels a bit like sometimes you could just throw the location or throw when you don't want to throw because you could unintentionally clock, right? So personally, I think the mandatory move is honestly a bit more of a downside because the power level is a bit low on this card.
I kind of feel like this is the kind of card where they really don't want to let it get too strong. Now, they made a last-minute balance change, taking it from a 3-3 to 3-2, and I don't really think that changes my evaluation of the card very much. Where it's like, yeah, if this was a 3-5, I would say power is a meaningful knob on it. The difference between 3-3 and 3-2 is pretty minimal, but I do think that this is the kind of card where if it is good, it stays good. Once that snowball starts happening, it is easier and easier to win the Viv Vision lane. And I think a lot of this card is better in non-mid-range scenarios. What I'm really interested in with Viv Vision is I am going to play this card against a Mr. Negative deck, against a Hella deck, against a metagame full of decks that just don't play cards before turn 3. They just don't care about early priority. This is a punish for them not caring about early priority. And it's a punish that stacks. And it's a punish that gives you enough stats over the course of... If you get, 4 procs of this, I guess it would only be 3. You get the 1-on-4, the 1-on-5, the 1-on-6. That's a whole lot of procs of very potentially valuable stuff when you look at things like the force multipliers in the form of Sebastian Shaw, and the force multipliers in the form of Brood, the force multipliers in the form of the other kinds of cards that you can apply these buffs to. Will this be able to take a Surfer deck to the level of points that it can compete with Hella? I kind of think that if you get this off, you might actually hit those levels on a good draw, and that's where this card might matter to me.
Actually, the more I think about it, the more I feel this card's actually quite interesting. Like when you were mentioning that whole bit, right? I was thinking also I actually kind of want, I want to, but I don't know if it's possible. I kind of want to play this in a deck that plays Hood, because the way you constantly win a location is you put this in the location with a 1/6 on curve, right? And it's a bit like the Gladiator thing. Then you will likely constantly win that location. It's not easy for your opponent to beat 8 power going into their turn 4 if they've not even committed to that location at all. So. But the problem with Victoria hand decks is that every turn is very highly contested in what you want to do. It's a very no slot kind of deck. So we'll see.
There's the other aspect of this card, which is Domino got to 2-4 recently. And it's not unlikely that, let's say you just put a Domino in a lane your opponent doesn't have any cards, you'll probably win that lane with this card on turn 3. Like, there are not a lot of 3 drops that are going to be able to contest that meaningfully. That's just 6 power. You might be able to put something real together there as well. And I think that this card is like this. That's where that like really small amount of power between 2 and 3 is really going to matter, is situations like those where the contesting of the lane is still technically within reach, but not necessarily within reach. I'm really interested to see what this card could do because it is an absolute snowball machine, but it's going to depend a lot on how it's able to get started as a snowballer.
Yeah, actually, your last comment about the domino made me realize one thing, which is that if there's actually a good deck for this card, right? If there's a popular good deck for this card, this card just becomes worse because the moment your opponent plays a card in one location, they know that okay, this is a Viv Vision deck. I need to contest, right? Like if it's a popular deck, if it's not popular, they might not think about it. So hopefully the card doesn't get too popular too quickly. If not, your purchase might be a bit even if there's a good deck for it.
Yeah, it strikes me as the kind of card that the more that what it wants to be is a deck that lets mid-range decks catch up to combo point output. But that is not something it's going to be able to be if everyone is playing to it.
Correct.
Next up is Sparky, and good news for those who are in my comments who love complaining about the Super Premium Season Pass. It seems like Second Dinner has listened to player feedback on this. The Super Premium Season Pass will give you a Sparky variant. He will also enter Spotlight caches, so you can get the Super Premium Season Pass and get him immediately, or he will be Series 5 in the Spotlight caches. That is the thing they sort of took back on this. Previous Season Pass cards are Series 4, Sparky is Series 5. They seem to have been developed in basically the same paradigm, but Sparky is quite scary to me in much the same way that I think a lot of people were scared of Fantastic R. I am terrified of this card. It is an activate 2/1 that takes the card on your board that last moved, moves it back to where it was, and oh, by the way, gives it +3 power. +3 power in an archetype that has Human Torch in it is massive.
It's multiples, it's not plus.
There is no current move card that even approaches this level. When you look at Aranya, she had to get nerfed when she was giving +2. Granted, that was when Human Torch cost 1, and he doesn't cost 1 now. But, like, again, he gets to bigger numbers much more easily with this. There's going to be a lot of 36 power Human Torches, and once you get past 36, there's probably going to be a lot of those too. But the point is more that, like, once you have a 36 power Human Torch, you just have a thing that says you win whatever lane you want. You can just, that wins a lane, full stop, not even a conversation. There are very few decks that are going to have more points than that, and this card can get you to that with 3 moves. Iron Fist, Sparky, and any other move on a Human Torch. That's it. You have just the 36 power. It's right there. That's really scary.
Yeah. The funny thing is, okay, so firstly, this card looks super underwhelming. It just looks like a green dog, honestly. But okay, that being said, the most underwhelming looking card kind of has the best effect that I've seen in a very long time. Simply because
scary.
Like you guys know how the move bounce is, right? Like it's already firstly a very high skill cap deck. This increases the skill cap and gives the player more options as well. It's not just about the +3 which multiplies because it's a move deck. It's also the fact that it will jump back to the previous location, you know. So the thing is, it's a 2/1, and all these kind of cards always make me go with the same logic, whereby I have the option to move my stuff back and go +3. Then you'd be like, why would you not do it? Because if you don't do it, I would win the other location. If I do it, I will win this location. So the fact that there is the option in my court to make my stuff grow bigger and shift back is insane. Also, the fact that this costs only 2 makes it very playable. Obviously, if it costs 3, then probably not so playable. But if it costs 1, then the game is over. But like, okay, I mean, it costs 2. It costs 2, so it's a pretty good card that you will want to play in move pulse. I'm pretty sure you'll find a way to fit it in. And yeah, I mean, overall, I think the card will be the bane of your existence if you're in high elo. In low elo, probably not so much. Because you don't even see move bounce there. But like, this card is insane. Like, and then I remember Jet, a friend of mine who probably will try and do some Phoenix Force things with this. But yeah, I think the card's insane. For good players and people that like move in general.
Yeah, to me, this is a pretty easy call for a card I am by far the most scared of this entire season. I see a lot of people talking about future cards like Jocasta, and you know, maybe that'll be scary. But you know what scares me? A Human Torch getting to 72 power. And that's just going to happen. It's actually at the point where
I don't think it's going to be difficult.
No.
For it to be 72, by the way. I don't even think it's difficult.
It's actually at the point where the big question for move decks for me is how do we win the other lane? Like all of our cards are so
Shang-Chi,
much
everyone's favorite card, right? Shang-Chi.
all of our cards are so much better on Human Torch than they are on any other move card, right? What do you want to Aranya? Human Torch. What do you want to Sparky? Human Torch. They're all so much better because of the multiplicative scaling that it actually has me wondering, like, are Dagger and Vulture, like, Human Torch is so far and away the best of these guys that it's like, all right, well, we need to figure out how to win lane 2, and it's like, are we juggernauting? Are we just like Human Torch one lane, Juggernaut the other, figure it out? Like, is that where we're at? I think it's very possible. In the what did I say? Spotlight caches when we were talking about Sparky? I'm pretty sure I did.
I think it's season pass. Yeah.
Oh my god. Issuing a correction, I'm pretty sure I referred to spotlight caches when talking about Sparky. It's because I'm a boomer and my brain doesn't work right anymore. That's what happens once you pass your 30th birthday. Now, this is Moira X. She's going to be in the Series 5 packs, definitely not spotlight caches, and those are going to contain her incredibly unique text. She's a 1/2. When she is destroyed, you get a copy of your opening hand. In basically any other card game, this is an unprintably busted effect. There is absolutely no way for any card game with any concept of an attrition-based strategy to print a card that says you get 3 cards on it. One of the most famously broken cards in the history of Magic the Gathering was basically exactly this without the destruction requirement, but trust me, this would be a busted card in basically every single card game wherein you can trade your resources 1 for 1. You can't do that in Marvel Snap. You're not able to trade resources 1 for 1. The utility of card draw, of having cards in your hand, is largely in executing the best possible version of your game plan. I want to play the best 4-drop in my deck more consistently, so I want to draw cards, right? This is such a weird thing because we have this card, Moira X, who gives you card advantage, like raw stats, but no added consistency from them because they're already the same cards you already had. So when is it going to be good? When can you realize the advantage that she gives you? Because you need to have a bunch of cards you can actually play in order to realize the advantage that having those extra cards is.
Yeah, so Moira X. Okay, what I wanted to say about Moira X, which is exactly what you said at the start of the of your segment, which is that this card cannot be printed in any other card game, man. It's just impossible. Like, okay, so Hearthstone had this card. I cannot remember his name. Today's team seems to be about forgetting stuff, but like I cannot remember the name of the card. But this effect was tacked onto 8 mana on an 8 mana body in Hearthstone, like a while back. So like the fact that this is 1 mana and you just pop it, right? And Marvel Snap has the beauty of like allowing you to print this kind of card simply because there's only 6 turns. Like you mentioned something which was super true, which is war of attrition. There's not really a war of attrition in Marvel Snap. Like you don't run out of things to do. Like just think about the amount of games in your last years of playing Marvel Snap where you actually run out of things to do. It's like kind of impossible. You usually have like too many cards in hand anyway. So like yeah, so it's kind of impossible like to print this in any other card game. But in this card game, I guess it's fine. I don't think the effect is busted in this card game simply because like you don't have time, right? You don't have time to play everything that you get. But it'll be interesting to see like if people actually play this in specifically like destroy decks just to get like an extra copy of something that they can use to like generate like stats and all that kind of thing. But honestly, I think this comes more of a meme in this game than anything else.
Yeah, it strikes me that direction. But what I really want to know is like, okay, if I have a Deadpool, and I Deadpool it up to being like 14 power or whatever, right?
Okay.
And it was in my opening hand, and I Moira X.
Oh.
Do I get the 14 power Deadpool or the 1 power Deadpool?
I'm pretty sure it's the OG. I don't think it's the updated stats. Because if it's the updated stats, then yes, then I think Destroy might actually be a not tier trash deck, but
yeah. Because, like, then, if we assume that it does that, then we're interested in this card, I think, a lot more. If it doesn't do that, then what we're really trying to hit with it are 6 drops that get discounted. Like, we're trying to hit Sasquatch, Mockingbird, and Death. And I don't know about you, but I kind of feel like we're sort of past that era of Marvel Snap where that was a thing we could do. Like, if we were still playing Deathbird decks with Squirrel Girl, Killmonger, Death, Mockingbird, maybe we could talk about this. But I just don't see an exact home for her right now if we're understanding her correctly.
I guess death is realistically the only thing that
Yeah.
you want to make, because like it's just based on total amount of destroys per game, right? So your second copy of death will still be, like discounted or maybe free. So I guess death, but the whole problem is destroy is not really a deck right now. So
There are also 2 Series 4 robots releasing. Omega Sentinel, a 4/3 activate. Give the highest power card on your opponent's side of the board -7 power. So an effective 4/10. And Awesome Andy, a 2/1 activate. Give +2 power to one of your cards at each other location. An effective 2/5. What do you see when you look at these cards, Lamby?
when I see and hear the name Awesome Andy, I just think of some Twitch chat person saying what a random Andy or something like that. Okay, but anyway. No, like legit, that's the first thing I thought of. And then when I looked at the art, I realized he's the office worker, and I was like, okay, this is probably the most random Andy card in the Marvel comics or something like that. But anyway, yeah. So I 2/1, potentially 2/5 in terms of like stat line. It's not fantastic, right? Simply because there are so many cards that just buff way more than that and have a better body on its own. Like with this one, you kind of like are mandatorily must buff stuff for it to be good, and also it's not like it's buffing by a lot. Also, the 2/1 body by itself is very, very weak, So, I think that's all that says to it. It's just a guy. This guy is just a guy, man.
Yep.
He's just a guy, not a fantastic guy, but like, yeah. So anyway, the other one, Omega Sentinel, I think is a little bit better. It's 4/10 in a world that doesn't involve like Luke Cage per se. Because if it's in if you're in a meta that has Luke Cage, then this is just infinitely scary to play because it's gonna be really bad. But if it's not, then I guess it's okay. 4/10 above average, or sort of like, okay, it's so funny, right? This is a 4/10 by using its effect. But like now I look at the other cards in the game, they are like, look at Misery. I mean, it's a 4/9 with like no additional requirements.
Do not get me started.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is a 4/10. The whole point of this card's existence is to be a 4/10 most of the time. Misery's existence is a 4/9 that does more than that every single time. So like, I don't know, man. This is the more playable one compared to Andy. Andy should just stay as an office worker or something.
Yeah. I mean, both of these to me strike me as sort of like pre-seeding for Jocasta. Jocasta comes out at the end of the month. She's the card that says activate, use all your activates here for free, effectively. They don't use up their activate abilities. So they probably were like, okay, well, let's make some more activate cards. Yeah, let's make some activates that could go in this deck, like the uncommons, so to speak, right? Like we need just some uncommon activates that just go do that.
Cards so that people can experiment.
The thing that gets me is like, I agree, Omega Sentinel is like pretty interesting. I wouldn't call her bad. Awesome Andy, and this just actually kills me because they have made, someone pointed this out, 3 bad versions of Herbie abilities. This is the third. True. Herbie is collecting Infinity Stones right now, okay? Bad version of Herbie ability 1, Frankie Ray. Bad version of Herbie ability 2, Jennifer Kale. Bad version of Herbie ability 3, this card. We are now on the 3rd version of a bad Herbie ability, and I just don't understand what they're doing. Are they going to do the 4th Herbie ability? Is that what we're waiting on here? Like, why is this card not a 2/3? I cannot, like, this is Toxidoxy-esque to me, because in much the same way as Toxidoxy has this potentially negative tempo ability of preventing you from being able to play cards, this card is absolutely, it has an activate on it. You can't play it on the final turn of the game. It's terrible. And what did they do with Toxidoxy? They moved it to 2/3. She still sucked. This card should not be a 2/1. It just shouldn't be.
What I think about it, this card is really horrible.
They have finally, in my humble opinion, hit the point of OTAs where interaction is, I won't say actively bad, but pretty close to bad. At this point in the OTA cycle, we have seen hit every sort of Fenris Wolf Cannonball Mercury deck, every single Invisible Wind First Steps deck twice, every deck that was running Mr. Fantastic since the last Golden Gauntlet. Basically everything good that has been hit. Like, basically every single deck that performed well and you were like, wow, that's pretty interesting, has eaten a nerf in some way, shape, or form.
True.
That's where we're at. And that means that there is just a whole new world out there to be found. I am actually shocked when I take stock of that. Because I think a lot of people think, Marvel Snap doesn't feel like it's changing a lot. When you go back a month, you're like, wow, everything is completely different. And I just wanted to take a moment and acknowledge that. Everything is very different right now. It is a very new metagame. And to me, I kind of think it's defined by combo decks.
Yeah, so I don't think that this is the first time they've actually like nuked everything per se, or like made everything that's popular a bit worse. But it's been a while. It's been a while since they kind of like just hit everything to the point that the meta completely changed, right? Like in like we mentioned in the last 1 or 2 videos, I believe, like when it comes to nerfs, people just regress to the same old things. This time there was not much things to regress to, right? Like they hit the Mercury Cannonball stuff. Previously they hit the Mr. Fantastic, and then like they gradually, they've been every single week they've been hitting cards that matter. And then finally I think we've reached the point whereby we cannot just play all comfortable anymore. Like me personally, right? Like because I play the game a bit less right now, but like if I were to go back, I always had all comfortable, or like things that I can always do. Like this meta is the first time like I actually think I need to learn new stuff. Like if I really were to like go hard again, So yeah, they definitely did make a lot of changes that are, I think, in a good direction. They didn't have to go with 69 card changes like what I said from previous videos, but I guess hitting Mercury Cannonball was big enough, right? I think if anything else, like after the whole like Mr. Fantastic hit, the next biggest like combo or pairing was like you hit the inevitable combo, the inevitability of that combo, right? And I guess Fenris Wolf to a certain extent as well, and then Juggernaut. So like they hit everything that was like reliable end game, like they hit everything that reliably ended the game. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. They hit everything that reliably ended the game. So now you play some other things that ends games hella sadly, but like it is better than just
I think that's actually a really astute point. They hit all of the mid-range deck endgame. Every endgame in every mid-range deck got kicked in the dick. Like, it's not just that they nerfed Havoc, which was the endgame for Invisible Woman. They also nerfed Fantastic Art. That was a big part of the endgame too. They nerfed Cannonball. They nerfed Juggernaut. These were the winners in those decks. These were the finishers. There are now just sort of these mid-range decks that are very open-ended. They don't have those finishers in them. And because they're so open-ended, what's happening is all these combo decks are just like, what's up, idiot? You don't have any endgame anymore. Like, what would sometimes win games against Hela is Cannonball Mercury Fenris Wolf. That's not happening anymore because we have to cut some of that. And so we end up with this very weird metagame. So I think that actually, like, that's really the point I've been trying to get at. Putting it in those terms was really helpful to me personally. Like, the idea of all the end game getting taken out of these decks, leaving a sort of openness where they don't have the ability to, like, slam the door on things. I think that's really what has led to the rise of these combo decks, because without very efficient mid-range strategies, there's nowhere for people to play the cards that are supposed to beat these combo decks. You need to have something to hook up a Mobius to if you want to beat Mr. Negative, because otherwise you're just going to be playing a Mobius and then lose every game that isn't against Mr. Negative. The same way, you need to have something that you can hook up a Stardust to if you want to try to beat Hela. Like, it does work, but if you're not playing against Hela, you need to have a coherent engine. And with the loss of these cards, there's a loss of a lot of engine coherency. These cards were doing a lot in very small packages to sort of drag the rest of the decks along with them. We've lost Mr. Fantastic as an engine. A lot of the Invisible Wind power as an engine has been taken away. We've lost various pieces of the end game, and now it's Hela, it's Pixie, it's Mr. Negative, it's Cerebro, and you just don't have the ability to interact with them a lot of the time. It's a pick your poison kind of game.
Yeah, the only gripe I have with this current meta, this is a 100% personal thing, by the way. I like the fact that we've changed a bit, but like the 100% personal thing is, firstly, the fact that Cerebro is actually decent again. I just detest that deck. If you go back, if you rewind it through all our videos, my VODs, and every time I speak about Cerebro, I just hate the deck because it just makes deck building very like streamlined. But that's just me personally. Yeah, but to a further extent, I just like haven't, like, looking at all these decks, I just don't think there is any specific like combo deck that I personally like to play. Like I mean I like playing Move Bounce. I was never really insane at it during my time, but like I like it. It's not really a thing right now, sadly. I mean, I guess you could still play it and win games. Like, it's fine, I guess. But yeah, no, Hela, calling Hela a combo deck just annoys me because you just like You just play cards and then you play Hella and then you win. Like, is there a combo that's just deck building, man?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't really think. I mean, like, yeah, it's definitely a combo, but like if you think about it, right, like it's not like you have to put in effort to get Hella off, right? You just play the cards in the deck that
Right.
like
Well,
like
by
work with
that
Hella
by
and
that
then,
logic, you're calling Mr. Negative not a combo deck.
I mean,
I just
yeah,
play the
that's
cards,
the
right?
thing,
Like,
right?
I don't know. I
It's
just
just
like I
deck
think
building. Like,
yeah.
I guess my problem with combo decks in Marvel Snap that it's all just deck building, right? Like the things just play themselves a lot of the time. It just feels like it's I guess okay, I hit the nail on it. I get it now. Why I don't like these combo decks is because I don't combo, I just build the deck and then the
Yep.
combo happens by itself. Right. So I guess that must be my problem with
No.
like some of these decks right now.
I absolutely agree because the fundamental thing that defines these decks is nothing that happened from turns 1 to 5 actually matters.
Exactly, like Shuri
Like-
Nimrod, right? I just
Yeah.
like I don't need
Yeah.
skill, I just build the deck, right?
Yeah,
So-
I am playing like if I queue up into Hella and I am playing Silver Surfer, I lose.
Yeah.
There's what am I supposed to do about that? Like I've lost.
the inevitability
Their
is
deck
actually
has a
kinda
higher
annoying.
capacity for points than me, and I don't have access to any of the things I would need to stop them from doing that. So I instantly lose. And that is largely what I have never enjoyed about Hella. We've always had Mobius, so I've never felt that way about Mr. Negative. But it's now that we have Stardust, I think it is unfair of me to single Hella out because we do have access to tools to deal with it if we want. It's just they're hard to fit in decks if we don't have efficient things to hook them up to, because then you start losing to the mid-range decks that aren't running those tools. And so I think largely when I talk about a combo deck in this game, what I am referring to are decks that fully invalidate whether or not the board mattered for 83% of the game. Like, that's really the issue that I'm
you know
speaking
what's
to
the
here.
thing? The funny thing is that I thought about this and like I think this is just the way it will be forever because Marvel Snap is a bit leaning more towards like a bit more casual audience per se, right? So you cannot have like the combo deck. You cannot have every combo deck be move bounce, you know. Like I also understand why I prefer move bounce because the player agency is very high. But at the same time, if every good deck coming out is move bounce level of like difficulty, you're not gonna have players, man. So I kind of understand where this is going anyway.
So on the subject of Stardust and Mobius, I kind of just wanted to like spitball some shells that I've been trying to get these in here because like there really is just like it's Hella, it's Negative, it's Pixie, and like Stardust and Mobius are pretty good against like half of that stuff. And they're even actually like kind of secretly good against like, haha, I'm going to Arnim Zola you out of my Phoenix Force deck. Stardust turns that off too. It's like just a bunch of like stuff that they're like randomly good against. So what I've tried is I tried Thanos, which in theory should work. They're both ongoing cards, but what I kept running into was I need to draw those cards early. Like, I need a Stardust on 4. And if I don't have a Stardust on 4, I basically don't run the card at all. And Stardust, especially on 4, has to happen with priority because they're going to start Ghost Ridering on 4, right? Like, if you're a Hella deck, you got to have Prio Stardust in order to stop them from doing a bunch of really stupid stuff, right? And Thanos just wasn't good enough at that. What I got to that was pretty okay was the Invisible Woman First Steps deck, but it's so finicky because so much of the points are locked behind Invisible Woman. So when you don't have her, you're just like kind of staring at them and hoping they don't do anything. I've played games of Hella where like I had the Stardust and I almost lost to like a Giganto, just like playing the card Giganto because I just didn't have the points.
Marvel Snap stats wins. So.
Yep. Like without like where can we slap these cards in? I got tagged on Twitter by Cougar who was playing them in a mid-range move strategy, which I think is a really clever idea. I really like that as like it's like if I'm just looking for like a points package that can carry the weight. Is it just V-Hand? Because I don't think it's V-Hand because V-Hand is so prescriptive in terms of what it wants its turns to be. Is there like a Wiccan deck? Can we just slap this stuff in Wiccan and call it a frickin' day? I don't know, but like KM Worst's Wiccan deck with Stardust in it is pretty appealing to me. And Cougar's move mid-range deck with Stardust Mobius in it is pretty appealing to me because where I'm at right now is just like, I hate knowing that the game that I'm playing did not matter and it was just all deck building. So I will always try to get these cards in there and police, you know, the combo people out of the metagame if I can. So finding the best shell to hook them onto, I've been trying. I think the other two have gotten more success than I have, though.
Yeah, so this is a good topic. I don't have much to add in the way of like new stuff to say and all that kind of thing. But I think this is a very good, very good topic to reiterate like what I think was very important fundamentally in the a few months back, ongoing Thanos, Supreme Thanos era. I think the ongoing Thanos meta that back then really showed us how tech cards only matter if it fits naturally into the deck, right? Like you remember how ongoing Thanos was insane and could play more. It was insane and then it could play Mobius.
Yes.
Not it wasn't so much it was insane because you play Mobius in the deck. It was insane and then it could play Mobius because it's just Mobius is just a tech card that's generally a bit understated, but in the ongoing deck, it just becomes like above average compared to everyone else's Mobius, right? So then you get to play the like understated card with the buff because of Spectrum, and then it just all worked out. Like I guess now it's a bit sad because you mentioned the whole like you definitely need the on curve Mobius or Stardust, you can't even compete, right? This is just more of a testament to like how much they nerf Thanos simply because like you literally cannot compete if you don't get those cards, right? In the past, it was like, oh, if I don't get them, it's fine. I still can buff stuff, and then it's fine. Now it's like I don't have those stuff. The deck is just pointless right now. So, buff Thanos a little bit again. I mean that this is not my point. This is not like the point I want to make.
I like that. You were like, I have a great point I want to make. Buff Thanos again.
Yeah, no. This is like what I want because I want to play Thanos. I was like I just want to play Thanos, but like the point that I want to make is that like tech cards should fit in a deck naturally, at least in Marvel Snap specifically. Like it's very more like exemplified in this game specifically because like there's only 6 turns. It's all about stats, right? So I really think that tech cards need to fit nicely into your deck before really considering them. The Mobius Thanos is a very good example.
All right, we're like 30 minutes into this podcast by now. By this point, if you're still listening, you're probably a fan, so obviously thank you. Wanted to let you into a little bit behind the scenes here. I have an incredible moment to share with you. Lamby asked if we could move the podcast recording up by like 12 hours because he had to go do something at our normal time. I said, sure, that's fine. I messaged him about 3 minutes after the time we set, and I was like, oh, you need 10 minutes because we normally have like a plus or minus 10 minutes. It's whatever. So he's like, yeah, I need 10 minutes. 23 minutes later, he responds, I forgot when I said 10 minutes in. And I bring this up to point out that both of us are in our early 30s, which means in internet terms, we have early onset Alzheimer's. Earlier, I referred to spotlight caches. Those have not existed for I don't know how many months. And the reason I don't know how many months is that I'm in my early 30s and I actually don't know anymore how much time has passed since anything has ever happened. Yes. And I just wanted to invite Lamby to tell us what it was that he was doing.
Yeah, so basically, this 8th topic was supposed to be another 8th topic, but I cannot even remember what that 8th topic is right now after we decided to do this one. So the theme is we are in our early 30s, so like it's all about forgetting.
It's over for us.
But like like honestly, right? Okay, so we decided to put this topic here just because like if you've reached this point, you are probably fans of the podcast. So give you guys some like insight into like the behind the scenes. It's kind of fun. So this is not really this has nothing to do with Marvel Snap at all, but it's just for fun. So basically what happened was I told KM, give me 10 minutes, right? So I went to make my food hot, like in the microwave. You guys know what a microwave is, right? So as I was looking at the microwave spin and make my food hot, like as it was spinning, I just like lost track of time. It's just so weird. Like I lost track of time as I watched the microwave spin. And then when it was done, I was just looking at my food. And then after a while, I just realized I had to do something. It was this. So if you reach this point, that was the
moral of the story is Lamby got hypnotized by a microwave.
Yeah, I quite literally got hypnotized by a microwave. It's so funny to say, like, you cannot make this up. You actually cannot make this up. Like, I think I actually got hypnotized by
He told me the story. He told me the story when we were setting up. He was like, bro, I forgot. It was like, what do you mean you forgot? And so I changed the topic, for the record, the old one, just to show you that I still remember some things occasionally. We were going to talk about the Golden Gauntlet qualifier. We pushed it to next week because that's just before the Golden Gauntlet qualifier. Anyway, long story short, go easy on us. I don't want a full comment section of people pointing out every time we misspeak. with our frontal lobes are degenerating at an incredible rate here, that we're basically senior citizens in terms of, did I tell you I renamed my alliance the Unction? It's just yeah, it's just, that's where we're at. It's for old people now. Shout out to our fellow olds out there. Joe Biden, I see you, buddy. That's you and me, same brain right there. With that said, thank you so much for watching. I've been KMBest. You've been phenomenal. He's been Lamby Series, and he's going to take us out.
All right, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next one if you remember to do it. See you guys.